Hi everyone, it's Monica, and welcome back to Tailor-Made Cards for You. Well, it's the middle of the month. That means it's time for our Just Cards video hop. And our theme this month is weddings and anniversaries. Now, ordinarily, when I think of a wedding card, I think of a black and white traditional card. But I really wanted to do something a little bit different for you. I wanted to show you that you can create a beautiful wedding card without it being a traditional black and white, clean and simple card. So I'm going to be sharing with you one of my new stamp sets that I got by Seth Apter for my background. And then I'm also going to be sharing with you a bride stamp from I Break for Stamps. Now I know that this wedding card isn't going to be for everybody. It is a very grungy card, but I'm hoping that I can show you some ideas to create a different kind of a wedding card. And even though you do have some grunge, I'm hoping that once I add the bride and some of my elements, you'll see that it is really a beautiful card. And my idea around this card was to create a card that a bride would give to her fiance or her spouse. I guess it depends on when she actually gives the card to her loved one. But that's the idea I had around this card. Now, as you saw, I started out with 3 Distress Oxide colors. And I will leave a list of all the colors and the products that I've used at the bottom of the video. So I took those colors and I swiped them onto my craft mat. And then I spritzed those colors with my Distress sprayer. And then I swiped my white cardstock through the colors. Now I just wanted to create a subtle background. I didn't really want to have a lot of coverage, but I did want to have some coverage so it didn't turn into a traditional black and white card with a busy stamp. And then once I stamped the focal image along with those checkers, I did add some clear embossing powder to give it just a little bit more depth and color. Now, as you can see, when I'm drawing my cardstock, I am bending it in different ways. And that's because when I started out, I did dip the cardstock into some water, which tends to make the card curl up, especially after you dry it. So I thought I would go ahead and use the opportunity when I was drying my embossing powder to help bend the card back into shape. So once my embossing powder was completely dry, I did decide to go ahead and tear the edges on all 4 edges. Now, if you don't want to tear it, you can always use your distress tool, which will also create some jaggedy edges, but I really wanted it to be a little bit grungy around my image. All right, so once my background was complete, it was time to stamp my bride. Now, the stamp that I'm using for my bride is from I Break for Stamps, and I have to tell you, this is a beautiful image. It's a silhouette image of a bride, and then the veil, of course, is transparent, so it looks like a white veil. But it's a beautiful image. I've used it on a few of my cards, and I just love it. It stamps really well, and it's just so traditional and so classy. As a design team member for I Break for Stamps, I can offer you a 10% discount on anything that you do purchase at their store. So the code that you would use is SAVE10MONICA, and that gets you 10% off. And I will leave that at the bottom of my video as well. If I forget to do that when I'm editing my video, just shoot me a note and I'll put that code out there for you. And you can use it as long as I'm part of the design team, and it gets you 10% off. All right, so once I was finished stamping my bride, I did emboss it, and then I fussy cut it. Now, before putting my card together, I did want to stamp a couple more images in some of that blue oxide because I didn't want my background to be all black. I wanted to add some color to help pull out the color from the background. So I stamped a couple of those postage stamps using some of the blue oxide ink, and I plan on fussy cutting those and adhering those with some foam tape. Now, because the bride was going to cover up some of my background, the 2 postage stamps are the only ones that I decided to restamp in some blue oxide ink. I wanted to keep the right side of my card, the background showing, because I wanted those words to show. And I'll give you a closer look towards the end of the video, but really what I wanted it to spell out was the word lost, which was at the very top right-hand corner. And then I'm going to be adding the word I found you. And that's why I think that this card would be perfect for a bride to give to her fiance or to her groom. All right, so once I had everything stamped and cut out, I did take my black Soot distress paint and I edged the background that I'm going to be adding to my cardstock. To give the card a little bit more dimension, I did take some foam tape and I added my postage stamps over the stamped images, again just to give it a little bit more color and a little bit more dimension. Now I also added some foam tape to the back of my bride because I wanted my bride to have some dimension as well. And it really was nice because once I had the card all put together, that bride really stood out along with those postage stamps. Now along with that big background stamp and the checkered border, the stamp set has a couple of words. It has the word "you" and it has the word "classified," but it also has a really nice rectangular stamp that has some background script along with the letter I. I guess it could be a 1 as well, but I decided to use it as an I. And the letter has a gentleman right in the middle of the I. So I thought it was perfect for the groom. And like I said, my idea around this card was for the bride to give it to her newlywed husband or her fiance. And it shows the word "lost" on the very top, like I said, and then the word "I found you." And the stamp that I'm showing you right now is the stamp that I'm talking about. It does come with some script background and it's a rectangular image, but I decided to just cut out the I because I wanted to spell out the "I found you." And then I adhered the I along with the U with some more of that foam tape. All right, so once I had my front of my card complete, I decided I wanted to add one more element. And of course, this is the metal element that you're going to see in the front of the card. And this metal element says, "Know in your heart you are loved." And it is a perfect addition for my bride card. And then I had one more metal element that I wanted to add, and that was my gear to go right over that circle in the middle of the card. Now that tool that you see me using is a tool that I picked up at the hardware store. And as a crafter, I do often go to hardware stores and look for little gadgets that I can use in my crafting. It is a great poker and it has a little plastic head on the edge because it's really sharp and I can definitely cut myself on it. But it works great to poke the holes into my cards to add my brads. So don't be afraid to check out your local hardware stores because they have some great designer elements and tools that you can use for your card making. So once I added my brads, I just simply used my distresser to grunge up the edge of my card and my grungy bride card was complete. Hopefully you've enjoyed my video and I've given you some ideas of how to make a non-traditional wedding card. As always, I will leave a list of all the products that I've used to create the card along with the links to the stores. If you've enjoyed the video, I would sure appreciate a thumbs up and let me know what you thought about this non-traditional card. Now don't forget, this is a video hop, so I will leave a list of all the videos for your next stop. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you head out. All right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by and we'll see you again next time.